小米奇，我们今天要讲什么故事
？Alfie and Dad。
对，我们要讲的就是 Alfie and Dad。这是 Alfie， 这是他的爸比哦。父亲节快到了，我们来看一些相关的绘本吧。他跟他爸比会一起做好多事哦，一起看书，一起跑步，他在溜那个滑板车。然后呢，还有一起做饭吗？好多活动可以一起做。这是在一起那个订架子、书架吗？好，我们来看看 Alfie and Dad。Alfie and Dad. Alfie's dad's name was Simon. On weekdays, he went off to work, but at weekends, he was very good at finding interesting things which they could do together. 你看，他们一起做好多事情，刚刚有讲到，对不对？ Alfie and the Flying Loobies. Alfie and Dad were very good friends, though Alfie had plenty of other friends too. His best friend was called Bernard. And then there was Ming and Sarah and Daniel and all the other children who were at nursery school with him. 所以这些都是 Alfie 的朋友哎，这些都是他的好朋友哦。There was Mr. and Mrs. McNally who live across the street, and their daughter, Maureen, who sometimes came to babysit, and his very good friend, the milkman. And there was a new friend who had only just come to live nearby, whose name was Neil. One day, Neil's mom asked Alfie if he could like to come and sleep over at their house. Alfie did not know Neil very well yet, so he thanked her politely and said he would think about it. But perhaps Neil might like to come to us, Mom suggested. And Neil said, "Yes, please." When the day of the sleepover arrived, Dad moved Annie's roses cot out of the bedroom. She and Alfie shared an into his bedroom and put up a camp bed for Neil. That evening, Neil's mom brought him around with his pajamas and toothbrush in a rucksack, and a toy rabbit called Mo. Of course, I know that Mo is another sort of animal, he told Alfie as he lay most carefully on the camp bed. But I didn't know that when I first got him, and it just sort of stuck. While Mom was settling Annie Rose off to sleep, Alfie and Neil had supper together. Neil was very good at telling jokes. He made Alfie laugh a lot. At last, after Dad had read them a story, it was bedtime. He came to tuck them both in and left Alfie's little bedside light on. "Sleep well, both of you," he whispered as he closed the door. But somehow, neither of them was sleepy. They spent a lot of time chatting and giggling. Then Neil scrambled up and lay flat on the floor under his bed. "What are you doing?" Alfie whispered. "I'm just checking whether the Flying Loobies are here yet," Neil told him. Alfie had never heard of Flying Loobies, so Neil explained. "They nearly always sleep under my bed. I just hope they're being able to find their way here. They are quite small, you see." Alfie wasn't quite sure that he liked the idea of Flying Loobies. 你知道什么是 Flying Loobies 吗？不知道哦。他现在要告诉你哦。
那是谁呀？
这是他的好朋友啊 ，Neil 啊，这是 Alfie 啊。"Do they come out and fly around?" he asked. "No, they drive mostly. They have got their own little cars, and some have bicycles," said Neil as he jumped back into bed. He punched his pillow and settled down with Mo. "Don't worry, I expect they will be here soon," he said. Then he turned over and went to sleep. Alfie lay awake for a long time after Neil had gone to sleep, thinking about the flying loobies and trying to imagine what they look like. Finally, he crept out of bed and went to fetch Dad. Dad came straight away and knew just what to do. Luckily, Neil was a sound sleeper and didn't wake up when Dad brought a torch and shone it under both beds. "There's nothing here, Alfie," he whispered. "Don't worry, I expect Neil was just making it up. There are definitely no flying loobies here." At last, Alfie went to sleep. Next morning, when they woke up, Alfie was rather tired. "Did the flying loobies come?" he asked Neil. "I don't think so," Neil answered. "Perhaps it was a bit far for them to travel after all." Secretly, Alfie felt rather relieved that the flying loobies hadn't made it to their house. "I don't think Flumble would like them much, would you, Flumble?" he said, after Neil's mom had come to collect him. And he knew by the look in Flumble's eye that he was right. 所以这就是 Alfie 跟那个 Flying Loobie 的故事。下一篇是 Alfie and the Lost Property. One afternoon, Mom and Alfie and Annie Rose were coming home from the shops on the bus. It was very hot and crowded. Annie Rose was tired and cross. She wanted her tea, and so did Alfie. He had Flumble with him, and Mom had lots of shopping bags. A kind gentleman stood up and gave them his seats, and they all squashed into it together. Alfie was very glad when they got to their stop. 你看，台湾也是啊，很多公车，然后上面都人挤人，没有座位，对不对？很辛苦，要站着。还好有一个先生让位给他们了。They had just reached the pavement. 不是，他们不在台湾，但是这个情况很像台湾。They had just reached the pavement when Alfie realized that he had left Flumble behind on the bus. 他把他的大象留在公车上嘞，怎么办？ He let out a loud cry, but it was too late. "Stop, stop," wailed Alfie, but the bus had already pulled away and was gathering speed in the traffic. 怎么办？ Alfie burst into tears. Mom tried to comfort him, but there was nothing they could do but walk home with only the shopping and no Flumble. "Never mind, Alfie," said Mom. "I'm sure there's some way we can get Flumble back. We will ring up the lost property office as soon as we get home." 所以妈咪要帮他打电话，看看有没有人捡到他的 Flumble. This seems like a long time to wait. Alfie was so sad to have lost Flumble. Lost Flumble that he couldn't get to sleep, even after Dad had tucked him in and read him a story. 不对应该先念这边才对，对不起。Alfie waited anxiously while Dad made the call. "They say we should go to the main lost property office," he told Alfie when he had finished speaking. "That's the place where all the things people have left on buses are kept until they are claimed. It's too late to go now, but I will take you there first thing tomorrow morning. It will be quite an adventure." 所以通常啊，每个地方都有那个失物招领的地方，学校也有。公车处也会有，所以如果东西掉了，你就去失物招领的地方找就对了。This seems like a long time to wait. Alfie was so sad to have lost Flumble that he couldn't get to sleep, even after Dad had tucked him in and read him a story. He took Welladon to bed instead. Williston did his best to comfort Alfie, but it wasn't the same as having Flumble. They had to get him back. Alfie was awake very early in the next morning, and as soon as he and Dad had eaten their breakfast, they set out for the lost property office together. 所以这里就是那个失物招领的地方了，好多人掉东西哦。And what an amazing place it was! 根本跟商店一样嘛，好多哦。There were hundreds and hundreds of umbrellas and great stack of briefcases and handbags and more mobile phones than anyone could count. There were some unusual things too, like a life-size cutout of a man in waiter's uniform holding up a tray with hot dogs here written on him. And an enormous football made of spongy stuff, which was nearly as big as Alfie. Why would anyone want to take that on a bus? Dad wondered. They walked past rows of anoraks and many different hats and overcoats until at last they came to a section which said toys, T-O-Y-S. 他们去那边找他的玩具，对不对？Some of these toys look as though they had been sitting there for some time, waiting for their owner. How will we ever find Flumble? Asked Alfie. Don't worry, said Dad. We will search every shelf until we do. They look and look until suddenly there, right at the far end, Alfie spotted a familiar knitted arm poking up as though it was waving. Flumble! Shouted Alfie. Dad reached up and took him down, and Alfie hugged him tightly. Hooray! Said Dad. Now we can go home. But just as they turned away, Alfie caught sight of something that made him stop short. 发生什么事情呢？为什么他要停下来？他好幸运可以找回 Flumble。通常有时候你掉东西就几乎是找不回来的，对不对？Right at the end of the row, there were 3 teddies with kind eyes, who each had a label round their neck. Alfie asked Dad what it said. It said unclaimed, Dad told him. That means nobody wants them. Does it? Said Alfie. When they got home with Flumble plus 3 teddies, Mom said, Well, you did have an adventure, didn't you?This is going to make the toy shelf in your room rather crowded. 所以他还带回了3只熊诶，真好。This was true.
熊妈妈，
对啊，
熊爸爸，还有熊小。
哦，对啊，突然想到3只熊的故事了。This was true. Now, Williston had to move up to make room for them, but Alfie gave him a special cushion to sit on so he would not be jealous.Nobody can say that you don't care about your toys, Alfie, Dad said as he kissed him goodnight, with Flumble safely tucked in beside him. You didn't much like being in lost property, did you, Flumble? Alfie whispered. But you needn't have worried. We found you in the end, didn't we? 他找回失物了。这是他跟爸比的第2个故事。然后第3个故事是The Lost Cat， 猫咪跑去哪里？猫咪不见了。他们家是不是有好几只猫？看看这个故事。Early one morning, Dad and Alfie were in the kitchen, having a chat before Mom and Annie Rose were awake. This was their special time together, just the 2 of them. They had just given Chessie, the cat, her breakfast.When they heard a scratching noise at the window. 哦，不是哦，可能是有一只走失的猫咪跑来他们家哦，不是他们家的猫咪不见了，有一只走失的猫咪出现了。When Alfie looked out, he saw a little cat sitting on the windowsill. She was meowing and pawing at the glass as though she was very wanted to come in.Alfie opened the back door, and right away she jumped down and before they could stop her. Strolled inside, she was a marmalade-colored cat with big green eyes. Jessie stiffened. She crouched down, guarding her food and looking very cross. Poor little cat, she looked hungry, said Alfie. Can we give her some milk? That was doubtful. I don't think we should encourage her, he said. She probably belongs to someone locally and will find her own way home. And very gentle, he picked up the little cat and put her back outside. But the little cat wouldn't go away. All day long, she hung about in the back garden. That evening, when it was Alfie's bedtime, he could see her still lurking about in the bushes. Next morning, she was still there, sadly meowing. It was beginning to rain. There was nothing for it but to let her in. Alfie made a little bed for her in a box with an old bit of blanket. The little cat got into it, turned around a few times, kneaded it with her paws, then curled up and went to sleep. I think we should call her Dillis, said Alfie. We can't keep her, said Dad. It wouldn't be fair on Jessie. We will put posters up. If nobody claims her, she will have to go to the cat's home to find a new family. But things turned out differently. A few days later, when Alfie called Dillis for her breakfast, she didn't come. He looked for her everywhere, but she was nowhere to be found. Alfie was very sad. She must have got lost again, he said. But he needn't have worried, because a few days after that, when he and Dad were walking home down a nearby street, there was Dillis. Dillis, 对不起 Dillis, 她在这里。She was sitting on a wall outside the house. When she saw them, she jumped down and rubbed herself against Alfie's leg as friendly as could be. While he was stroking her, Dad walked up to the front door of the house and rang the bell. A lady answered. I'm very sorry to bother you, said Dad, but is that your cat? Yes, the lady said. That's our Timbals. All right. May I ask, has she gone missing recently? Oh, yes, said the lady. She disappears regularly, usually for about a week. I think she just likes a change. But we have given up worrying because she always comes back. We have solved the mystery, said Dad and Alfie as they walked home. Yes, said Alfie. We're very good detectives. 他们找出那个小猫原本的家庭。Dad and Alfie were very pleased that they had found Dillis, or rather Tibble's, real home, but not nearly as pleased as Jessie. She sat on Alfie's lap all evening, purring happily. I think Dillis is a much better name than Tibbles, said Alfie. I wonder if she will ever come back and visit us again, but she never did. 所以他们找到走失的猫咪。这个就是 Alfie 还有他爸比的3个故事，里面一篇有3个故事哦。好啦，讲完了 the end。